عايشة مع إسرائيل. إذا أنتم يا مسؤولين في دولة إسرائيل، أين الوعود لنا؟ وأين مواقفكم التي ستنقذ لبنان؟ ها هو اللبنان اليوم يذبح كالغراب.
Where Begin is, where he's promised. We are waiting. We are waiting from the world, the whole world, to wake up. Why nobody just see and look and hear our voices? We are dying. We need help.
No. I don't know who it is, but I know it's Lebanese. But
the executive officer from the retirement.
Okay. Anyhow, I have to tell you, viewers, why we prevented you from coming and going during this 2 days. That is not directed against you personally, against anybody, and you personally. But we felt that the world is not reacting with the massacres going on in Beirut. We were wondering why United Nations are not moving so quickly to stop the fight in Lebanon.
The Syrians do and should interpret it as a message to them that we cannot countenance the continued killing of the Christian community in Beirut.
What happens if the Syrians don't take any heed of the Israeli warning?
Well, time will tell. I hope they will take heed. What we're seeing coming out of Beirut today are sights that we've not seen since World War II. A city, a defenseless city, essentially, being turned into rubble, its population being annihilated. I think the only example I can think of is Rotterdam in World War II, when the Germans did the same thing to that city in Holland. In my opinion, the world cannot stand by and watch this sort of thing. People today see on television the Holocaust series, and they wonder how the whole Western world could have stood by and watched this happen without interfering. I don't think that any of us want to go through that kind of experience again, certainly not we here in Israel.
there is no, I think it must not be any connection between the agreements which were achieved at Camp David with any disturbances which may occur on other fronts. The agreement between Israel and Egypt should stand on its own feet. If such an agreement is going to be affected by undesirable happenings or which may occur in other fronts, then the whole validity of this agreement will be under a question mark.
Mr. Hassan, what gave you the idea for the Temple of Peace?
Well, I have heard the first time about the idea from President Sadat after he came back from Camp David. And I think the symbolic idea is really a very nice idea, and it inspired me to think about giving the physical expression of the idea itself. The project is a combination of three separate elements: a synagogue, a mosque, and a church, which preserve their uniqueness while being joined together around a central piazza, which is a place where people can meet, can see each other, and from this the inner spaces of the structures themselves develop.
Mr. Lassar, are you sending photographs of the temples of peace to any of the leaders?
Yes, I'm sending the photographs to the leaders of the three nations who took part in the Camp David conference, to President Sadat of Egypt, Premier Begin of Israel, and President Jimmy Carter of the United States. I'm also sending copies to all the ministers in the Israeli government, to the President of Israel, to the chief rabbis, and I hope that President Sadat and President Carter and Mr. Begin will be interested in finding the way to bring about these structures and really to build them. I think it's not a problem it's not a political problem. It has no military aspects, and I think in this case there is really a real basis to take this as the first project, common project of two nations supported by the United States in a place which has a symbolic importance to at least Jewish and Muslim faith, and like this will get a meeting place in the desert for people from all around the world who can come, join together and pray, each one in his own religious space.
And finally, how much do you estimate that the complex will cost?
I estimate this project at about $1.5 up to $2 million, taking into consideration the structures, the inner space design, and the piazza itself, and also taking into consideration the location, which is not a usual place. It's far away from the basis of existing technologies in the area.